Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So primarily before, it's been about plumbing and gas and boilers and stuff like that. Now I've moved away from it because I just couldn't find a passion for it. Couldn't keep finding a passion for it and keep on with the breakdowns, because it was just too similar. There was too much going on that was exactly the same week on week, which is not what everyone wants to see. So why didn't I move it into something that I'm really passionate about, which is my cars, right? And as you can see behind me, we've got my Subaru, all right? And I literally love this thing, literally love it. It's always been my childhood car that I always wanted. Could never afford it, so I saved up hard and finally got there. And I've had it for about a year and a half now, something like that, and I spent more money than I wanted to on it, let's put it that way. I'm buying it. Had lots of issues when I first got it. When I first got the car, what I should have done is driven straight back round and taken it back to the guy that I bought it from, purely because I was missold it on the fact of that the gearbox was playing up, gear number 5, and I didn't know that until I got on the motorway. Now the guy drove it, wouldn't let me properly drive it on the roads, so I just took it on kind of face value, really. Drove it in 1 to 4 because we were only in local roads. Didn't even think about 5, but even when I did put it into 5th, it was okay at first. It was absolutely fine, but then it wasn't until you started doing it at higher speed, say like when you're onto a motorway, etc. Not talking about ragging it, but just going up to 5th gear onto a motorway, then you'd hear a big crunch. Anyway, so I lived with it for a couple of months and I saved up, and I was looking for a second-hand gearbox. So found a second-hand gearbox, way over the odds at the time as well. I think I paid around about 850 quid for the gearbox from eBay. I had to find it via a code on the gearbox. Didn't even know anything about that at the time. I just thought you could buy anyone, but no, it's all to do with diffs and all of that sort of stuff. Slowly learning that. But so had that put in, then had major issues with the speedo drive. The speedo drive wouldn't work. So the speedo drive that went into the old gearbox was made of plastic. That had literally just welded itself in there, couldn't get it out, tried breaking it out, etc. Anyway, it did just break out. So then from there, I ended up having to make up a bit out of some plumbing parts, and I'll show you that now. So I don't know if you can see that part down there, but that little bit there that goes into the gearbox is actually a radiator tail that I ended up cutting down, and I ended up drilling it out to 15mm to allow that drive, that cable that goes in there, to be able to seat in there correctly. Now these parts are obsolete. Yeah, so literally they're obsolete, so I had to just make up while I was there, and I just thought I'd just give it a go, and it worked. The guy who was fitting the gearbox for me was just over the moon. He was just, I can't believe you've done that. But since then, there's a company called Roger Clark who have brought out their own one that they've made themselves. I've bought that in case this ever breaks. So I've got that, and I will put it in at some date. Maybe we'll do that as a video to show people that you can still buy this part, and it's not just death by your gearbox because of that. But yeah, so I had that problem straight away, and that was a real big issue, because I was just thinking, what have I done? So, I've spent 5 grand on a car. Now I've spent 850 quid on the gearbox, then a clutch, which I bought from a company called RTS, which was another 200 and something quid, plus the fitting of it. So that was another 400 quid on top. So, you mount it up, it soon starts creeping up, and then driving it for about a month or so, spirited driving, as you say. And on the way back home one night, I couldn't get it into gear, couldn't get it out of gear, had real bad trouble. So I literally had to drive it home in 3rd gear, after being out with a few friends of mine. Got it home, and then I was thinking, the gearbox can't be dead. It just can't be, because I didn't have the most amount of money and all that sort of stuff, still don't, but I was just stressing. So I was just like, right, what am I going to do? So I looked into it a little bit more. It ended up being the flywheel bearing. So I had to put a new flywheel in there. So I put a light and one in there. So gearbox back out again, new flywheel. It's all the costs keep on mounting up. And then after that, if you know Subarus, you know that they rust at the rear arches. Okay, now this one is absolutely perfect now. It's all been sprayed, it's had a new repair panel welded in, and if we come around to the other side has been done as well. So this is all fresh, all done, and it's not just all filler, it's a proper repair panel which they cut in about here, and I found an absolutely amazing guy to be able to help me with that. He welded it all in for me, then I had a body shop down the road from me spray it and fill it. While he was there, he actually remade, so excuse the dirt, but he actually remade all my inner sill as well, just down in the corner of both sides. As you can see, there's a bit of overspray there, which I've got to put a little bit of wax oil back over to keep it all fresh, or Lano Guard, one of the two. My next upgrade was, because this is a WRX, as you can see by my seat covers, it only comes with sliding calipers, and I wasn't happy with them. They were not very good, the feel was not very good, so I brought some reconditioned 4-pot calipers, and needed to buy new bigger discs as well. So done that on both sides there. So the front rears have still got the originals on there, so I haven't done that at the minute, but I have got new ones that have been taken off another car, and I'm going to put all of them on there as well, and I'll buy some braided hoses as well. So that is going to be another video coming up of me doing that. So that's another upgrade that will be coming up very, very soon. Moving on to the engine, what have I done? So the actual engine itself, I haven't done anything to. The actual engine is still stock, but I've spent a lot of money on having all new timing belts done, all new like cam belts as well, new water pump. I've put in a new fuel pump at the back as well, in the back seats. If you need a video on that, I can upload that as well. I have bought a cheaper top mount intercooler, and the reason why I went with a cheap eBay one was because I wanted to test it out and see what it was like. I didn't have the money for a Process West one or for an STI one, so I brought this. It's around about £150, something like that. And as you can see, it's quite thick. It's actually double the thickness of the original one that's there. So that is obviously going to help as well. Obviously changed a new collar there. Had a nightmare one night while I was out on night out, spirited driving again, and the actual Y pipe that sits underneath this intercooler, you have two pipes that feed like this, and then they go into the turbo here into one pipe. That decided to split on me one night, so I had to drive home with no turbo, which was absolutely fine, but at first I thought my engine was dead, but it's not. This is a HKS dump valve, which was already on the car, so that's still exactly the same as it was. And when I brought it, all it had was that and an exhaust. So since then as well, what else I've done is I've put a Roger Clark uprated panel filter into there. I like that. And then move on to the other bit, because people are probably noticing as well that there's a plug missing from this MAV sensor. So I've gone MAVless on this because I've done the fuel pump, intercooler, and then done all of the supporting work to like help protect the engine and make sure I don't have any problems with it. New oil change, new plugs. It's got 440 injectors in there, which are yellow ones. And then I had it remapped, and that was done by Duncan at Race Dynamics and that was at Surrey Rolling Road. And the car is actually running 313 brake horsepower, which I think is pretty good. It probably is running a bit more now because I've changed the actual headers underneath the car, which will show you. You will have to excuse the angle on this because it's very difficult to get under this car. But that there is the headers that I've changed. That goes right up. They both come up, and they're both still unequal length. Come up, and then they join into the turbo, and then go straight down on the downpipe out through a stainless exhaust as well. So it's got a full stainless exhaust on there, front to back now. So it's possibly running a little bit more, and I will speak to Duncan again about getting it remapped again, just to double check it. So the ECU has been changed as well it's got an ESL board on there as well to be able to help with that. I've got a 3-port boost solenoid on there as well to help with the pressures. And as you can see, this really bugs me, but I've actually got a second-hand one that I actually have brought for a guy off Facebook, which I'm going to put on there as well, just to neaten that up as well, because that really bugs me every time I look under there and see that. So yeah, it's running good power. You know, I'm very, very happy with it. As you can see here at the beginning of the video, it sounds pretty good as well. I literally love this car. Now this is my pride and joy. Okay, this is going to be an ongoing project, probably forever, and hopefully I'll be able to give this to my son at some point. This is the aim of the game. So what do I want to do with this channel now? what I want to do is I want to bring back the 90s. I want to bring back the 90s because I am 90s through and through. Everything I love, as in cars, motorbikes, pretty much anything with an engine, is from the 90s. Just love it, always have done. And I grew up in that era where I was going to Southend every weekend with my mates, either on my motorbike, in a mate's car, in my own cars, whatever it was. So I'm just thinking, right, let's just take it back to the 90s. Let's go back, and I think we can make an absolute cracking car. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to buy another car for the channel. Okay, so you're going to see me in my next video buying another car. Now, stick it in the comments. What would you like to see? What would you like to see? Would you like to see I was looking at like a Citroen Saxo VTR. I was looking at one of them, or even like a Peugeot 206 GTI. Try and get the 181 if possible. Otherwise, they're 138 brake. Something along them lines is what I'm thinking. Something that I always liked when I was younger. Now, my first car that I got off my mum actually was a really nice K-Reg Ford Orion. Now it's a 1.6, absolutely loved that thing. It had some sort of like Escort turbo, no, Escort Cosworth replica wheels. They weren't as wide and all that sort of stuff, but it looked good. I loved it. Yeah, and it actually ended up selling it back to the original keeper who had it before. So that was quite a good end to that car. And then throughout my sort of car career, it was just calamity really, because I would just buy anything that I loved. I would just buy. So I bought like a couple of XR2Is, Ford Fiestas and stuff like that. One of them had more holes underneath than anything. One of them I even brought home, took it around to my mate's house, and I was like, look at this car that I've just bought, well happy with myself. And he was like, yeah, I think you might want to take that back, mate, because the air gasket's gone on that one. It was literally bubbling up in the coolant box and stuff like that. And then, oh, what else did I have? I had a couple of Celicas. So I had one with the pop-up headlights, so the J-Reg, one of them, wrote that off. And then what else did I have? Oh, then I had one of the ones after that, I had one with the 4 quad lights at the front. That was a nice car. Again, not very quick. Then I had a couple of MR2s. So I've always been into my Jap cars. I could never ever afford the Fords really. I had an RS2000, which was just I think that was a K-Reg again. That was not a good car because it was just rotten as hell. So I never ever really had much luck. Now this is why I've gone kind of overboard on the Scooby, is because I want to make sure that I protect it and do everything I can. Now what I have done since I've had it as well, I've Lano guarded underneath. So that was last year. I've redone it again this year. So I'm going to keep on doing that every year as well to try and protect the underneath. Now I know the underneath is pretty solid on this car. I'm not saying it's perfect. No Subaru, unless you're going to have it fully redone, is going to be perfect underneath, but I'm happy with it. I'm happy that it just goes through the MOT and there's no problems with it really, apart from a ball joint on this one which I'd replaced. Now I've got loads of other bits I need to add to this car, loads of them. If you'd like to see videos on that, then comment, let me know. If you want me to start doing some videos, because I've got a perfect little place at home where I can do the work on the cars. If you'd like to see them videos of me doing the upgrades, doing the little bits and pieces that I want to do, I've got some like rear linkages and a new sway bar, and there's other things that I want to add underneath the engine bay as well, and I just want to keep it nice and original as best I can. Obviously I've got an exhaust, it's been remapped, so it's not original, but if you'd like to see that sort of stuff, then let me know. And if there's any cars that you guys can think of, if there's any cars that you know of that are like appreciating classics from the 90s or early 2000s, like let me know, comment, let me know, we'll stick it on, and then the next video you'll see me going and buying another car, and we're going to get into it that way. So this is my paperwork folder for this car. So as you can see, what I've done since I've had this car is gearbox, 5th gear gone, clutch RTS uprated, new flywheel lightened, 23 work. So from what I've done this year, so new rear arch, I've got all photos of it. I've got like sprayed the arches as well, top mounts, top mount intercooler, the wire pipe, service, ECU remap, race dynamics 313. Oh sorry, forgot to say, had a new steering rack as well because it was leaking. New boy joint for that MOT. Exhaust header as well, that was from Malian exhausts. Obviously the Walbro 255 fuel pump, exhaust gaskets and turbo, turbo gasket as well, that was meant to say. New rear light seals because the boot had filled up with water, so new rear light seals. And that there's probably other bits that I've forgotten as well. We can't end this video without going for a little drive. I think it's only polite that we do that. So let's go, let's have a little drive. And let's get this other car on the go, yeah? Let's get this other car